Greetings, friends and fellow rebels. Welcome to the woods. Today, I want to talk about words and phrases and how our choice to reimagine or re engineer words can work against us by taking away the terms that we could be using to understand our world and each other. For instance, instead of saying that somebody is self entitled, meaning that they are asserting that they're entitled to something that they're not. It's a self-entitlement. It's not true. Instead of saying that, we say entitled. She's entitled. Well, you're very entitled. Now, the problem with that is it means the opposite of what we're saying. If somebody's entitled to something, it means they've worked for it. They deserve it. And if you reassign that word to someone who's being selfish or stupid or confused or somebody who's lying, saying that they're entitled to something they're not. If you use the word, she's entitled, meaning she's not entitled, then you don't have a word for entitled. What are you going to use when you want to say that someone deserves something? They deserve it doesn't really mean entitled, because entitled means you worked for it. Whereas deserved simply means that you're worthy of something. There's a little difference. And if you want to mush mouth it and start using words that aren't quite as descriptive, you can do that. But it takes away from being able to understand each other and our world. So we need to be careful when we decide to discard words. I'll give you another for instance. I see, and have occasionally been guilty, of using the term narcissist for somebody who's simply selfish or self-absorbed. That's incorrect. Narcissist is a psychological term, and there's like 9 different categories they have to fulfill, from being grandiose, to being incapable of accepting responsibility for things. There's just a whole list of things that they have to fulfill a large amount of to actually be a true narcissist. And a true narcissist has harmed their life and their relationship with others by the way that they are living, by their character situation, which, if you're simply self-absorbed, if you're simply someone who has a little bit of selfishness going, it's not the same thing. So we have to be careful how we use words, or if we overuse a word and we use it promiscuously, it will lessen its potency over time. Same thing with curse words. If every other word out of your mouth is a profanity, then when you actually need that profanity, when you have a truly upsetting situation and you really want to make an impact on the world or on the people around you, and you pull that profanity out, it's not going to mean anything. So choose your words wisely. Now, the reason this came up is I've noticed that there's a lot more what I would call woo, meaning not mundane, magical, or spiritual, depending on how you want to look at it. There's a lot more of that is being spoken of. A lot more people coming out and being comfortable talking about what they know or what they think or what they've observed or what they believe in that realm. And occasionally you have people talking about things that they haven't given a lot of thought toward. And as a result, our terms are getting muddied up. It's fine to have a different opinion, but it's wise to think it over for a while before you present it. Now, I just heard someone referred to the Mandela effect. They were comparing it to the quantum belief that we have different perceptions of reality. Oh, reality is the same for all of us, but different people perceive things different ways, and that's what accounts for the Mandela effect. Mandela effect is when you remember something one way, very clearly, and someone else remembers it differently, also very clearly. So for you, Jiffy peanut butter was a thing. But if you look back in history, there's never been a Jiffy peanut butter, only ever Jif. And if you talk to somebody from a different timeline, they'll tell you, you're crazy. Jif peanut butter. What are you talking about? Get it done in a jiffy, Jiffy peanut butter. That didn't exist. Okay? Now, from what I have seen and understand, there are multiple timelines that exist within the same dimensional sphere that our planet has been running. It's coming together, and as it comes together, we have different elements from different timelines that are joined, and sometimes it's one and sometimes it's another. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and you notice that there's a curly Q on the O of the Ford logo where there wasn't one before. Or you may notice that in the Bible, the quote, "And the lion shall lay down with the lamb, and the little child shall lead them," is no longer there. Instead, it's talking about jackals and wolves. Okay? That's all right. Multiple timelines coming together. We're going to have a bifurcation soon, and some of that's going to calm down. But I've listened to someone with a little bit different opinion, which not quite my understanding of it, that multi-dimensions are what's accounting for this. My understanding of multi-dimensions is you have elemental dimensions that are lower than ours. That's what we stand on. We create their weather, and we are the floor for higher dimensions. They create our weather. We create their earthquakes. We exist here. However, our Earth is vibrating, and that is changing. It's moving up. So the primary space that we'll be living in is going to be at a higher vibratory rate. It's going to be what we now consider the astral. That's where we go when we dream. That realm. It's not as dense, so the rules are going to be a little bit different. But it's not a different timeline. It's a higher vibration of the same timeline. And there's the etheric above that, which is an even higher vibration of the same timeline. And there are those who can travel to those spaces, but we don't need to talk about that quite yet. Timelines, multiple timelines in the same dimension, is different from multiple dimensions within the same timeline. One is a matter of vibratory rate, and the other is a difference in the skein. Where are you sitting in the skein? Which timeline are you a part of? At this point, it's unified. It's going to be splitting into Alpha and Omega, the organic timeline, and the technological timeline, the mechanical timeline. Split. And you'll get to decide, based on what's in your heart, what's important to you, which direction you want to go. But again, there's a difference between dimensions, timelines. It's true that you and your friend could be looking at something and see two different things. Your friend might see what's on the astral and maybe the etheric, as well as what's on the physical plane, vibratory plane. You may only see what's on the physical vibratory plane. That's a matter of perception. Again, it's different from timelines. With timelines, you're on it or you're not. You're on this one or you're on that one. It's different. Something to think about, and welcome to the woods.